Did you hear Substack made a TV app?
A TV app?
Yeah, like we're on TV now. Like when
Really?
you go live, you're on TV.
On Substack TV, huh?
Yeah, Substack TV. Now
That's
it's like
weird.
on your Roku or your Apple TV or whatever. Now you can maybe
Really?
hopefully some folks toggle their way over to the Friday Rant this morning. As
Yeah,
they're
no kidding.
looking for something to drink their coffee with. Perhaps they could drink it with us. Friday Rant. Shit, man. No, it's I always tell people it's like all these shows, man. It's like we talk about all this fucked up shit, but it's like I look forward to this. It's like almost cathartic, you know. Just
Yeah,
talk
I see
about
it. I just looked it up. It says Apple and Google TV.
Yeah,
Substack
right.
TV. That's cool.
I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how that works for us. Like we, of course, the Substackers themselves, either me and Arturo are not important enough to have been briefed on this or haven't sent us out a newsletter. I'm going to choose to believe they didn't send everyone a newsletter because me and Arturo are clearly important enough for them to have sent us a personal memo.
You would think. You would think.
But you
We're
know,
not delusional or nothing.
yeah, mistakes are made. It's a busy office. There's a lot of people around. Like I'm sure they just overlooked two of the most important Substackers on Substack TV. I mean, if you're gonna roll out a launch like that, you should be talking to your talent, right? It seems right to me.
You would think. Good
morning, everyone. Walter is not with us, but
he's with us in spirit.
He's with us in spirit. We will endure. He's also with us in the top corner of the screen here.
Yeah.
So he's absolutely with us in spirit. But Arturo, it's been a while, bro. How have you been? What's going on?
You know, it's good. We're in Texas. We're about to get a freeze. Ted Cruz run away. And, you know, he always comes back, unfortunately. But I've been making jokes about him being our groundhog. You know, whenever he flees for somewhere warm, we know there's a freeze coming.
Dude, we should fucking deport him. Where is he? Someone find him. Someone find his Airbnb. Someone find his Airbnb and make his vacation miserable. If he's going to leave every single one of his constituents to one of the worst winter storms that we have seen on record, because and support fascists at the same time. Yeah. I'm just saying, if he's in your state, you don't want him there. He's bringing down the vibe, the overarching vibe, the overall quality of karma in your environment is being by Ted Cruz. So
somebody in the comments said, deport him. And
deport his ass back to Texas during the freeze.
But like, who would have him? Like, who wants him? Nobody wants that guy. I mean, he maybe Miami.
CSOT. I would fucking pay so much money for a video of Ted Cruz getting processed at CSOT.
Oh man, yeah.
Oh my God. They record the whole thing. So we just send Ted Cruz to CSOT, and he can be an example. Say, hey, we made a deal with Nayib Bukele, we the people, and we're gonna send the billionaires to CSOT.
Well, if you abandon
money, we seize their money.
Right. If you abandon your people during a storm, off to El Salvador.
Off to El Salvador.
That should be the rule from now on.
It's the governor's law. When we signed the new Constitution in 2026, one of the most fundamental laws was the abandonment clause, in which all governors, if they abandon their people during winter, or the Cruz clause, they'd have to fucking be named after him.
Yeah, there you go.
What a freaking weenie he was for the entire history of forever.
Yeah. Like, I mean, dude, that guy, like, ever since he got reelected, he really doesn't do anything other than, like, he does a podcast, like, 2 or 3 times a week. It's ridiculous. Even people in Texas are like, bro, go do something. Like, stop.
I don't think governors govern anymore. I don't think the United States.
I mean, he's a senator, but yeah.
Or senators, I don't think it works. I just don't think the systems work. I think it's like atrophied. I just think everything is fundamentally so broken at this point. Like ever since I pivoted, right, and like to a more geopolitical angle, and I've stopped scrutinizing the United States because, like, the reality is that I can't. scrutinize the United States and look at the rest of the world and try and make that like comprehensible to myself, let alone anyone else, while scrutinizing what's happening in the United States. But what I do is I report on the US as if it was, and with a little bit of bias, I do report on the US economy more, but like I try to report on the US as if I'm reporting on Hungary or Lithuania or somewhere else.
Right.
And when I've removed myself, the American part of me, and I look at America, I find myself describing this country as one that has fundamentally broken and non-functional institutions. Like the institutions do not work. They do not protect the people. And I don't think anything says that more than the situation I reported on yesterday, something that you probably are aware of, was the judge who lifted the injunction preventing the use of tear gas on peaceful protesters and ended up calling into question the necessity for a judge-signed warrant for forced entry into homes in Minneapolis. Like, I mean, I don't know if I'm in France, okay, and I'm like, oh, sacre bleu, fuck, like that's crazy, like that's nuts. I can't. I'm not safe in my own home. That's what you're saying. You're saying the fucking Gestapo militia can now break down your door and enter as they please because why?
Yeah, you know, and let's not forget that. I mean, it is an inherently racist agency. Most of Homeland Security is. It was created in the aftermath of 9/11. Xenophobia was super high against all immigrants, and particularly Arabs and Muslims. Mm-hmm. And you know, the agency was built on that xenophobia. So at the end of the day, to be able to do what ICE does, you need to have racists and bigots in there. You don't want people with compassion, right? You don't want people who are going to feel sorry for the family you're separating, you know, because there's a risk that you might be too lenient on them. They want people who don't care, who enjoy doing this. This is why you're hearing all these reports of people, you know, having their nuts stepped on and you know, a woman got shot in the face and all these things. And at the end of the day, I think, you know, you kind of hit a nail there when you said that, you know, you took yourself out of the equation when it comes to the government. And I think that's important to separate ourselves from the government. The government is an entity. We are not that, right?
Correct.
We are not what our government does, because most people in the U.S. oppose the genocide. Our government ignores that. Most people don't want war in Venezuela. That we don't agree with sanctioning 30 million people and forcing them to starve like we did to Venezuela and we've done to Cuba for 65 years. But our government doesn't listen. I think it's important to separate ourselves from what our government does in a lot of ways, because it allows us to scrutinize more. And, you know, like most of my geopolitics is focused on the Americas, Latin America, stuff like that. I have that bias, right? I'm always paying attention to what's going on with, like, you know, Cuba and stuff like that. But
and it's because of that I don't feel like I need to fucking talk about it. So I'm very grateful for it, because I don't have to look at it as much.
Right. And I approach it from scrutinizing our government standpoint, because the direct impacts of what we do on those countries is what leads to all this destabilization. So yeah, no, I think it's very important to separate ourselves from government. It allows you to really look at ICE and say, you know, that agency needs to go. Reforms aren't going to fix this. You know, body cameras aren't going to fix this. Like the guy who shot Renee Good, like he pulled out his phone and filmed himself. A camera didn't stop him. He's had all the training. He's been in the military, 10 years at Border Patrol. That didn't stop him either. So you can't reform that kind of stuff. And I think we really need to start looking into like abolition. I mean, there's no other way. There really isn't.
No. And it's also like I don't even really follow what's like going on, but I did catch I saw them drag that man out into the cold with bruises on his naked body.
Man, yeah.
He was a citizen after they held him for fucking 3 hours in the back of their car in the fucking cold, and no one's talking about the weather right now, but all the weather is fucking insane. It's all insane. None of it makes sense. It's record cold across the Midwest from Texas. This storm that's coming that Arturo's, this freeze he's talking about, it's going to go up from Texas across Baja California, through Texas, through the entire Southeast, and shoot out near the northeastern part of the United States. I mean, this storm is literally it's a crazy storm. Historic. Historic. The NWS barely fucking works. Okay. FEMA doesn't exist. Trust me when I say, like, how many floods did we have over the course of 2025? I'm telling you, the polar vortex blew up. If you don't know what the polar vortex is, I'll give you some real simple meteorology 101. There's a bunch of really cold air that sits at the top of the planet, right? You take the planet, we take the poles. At the poles, you have cold air. So normally the way the planet works, because of heat and the way things moved around for the entirety of human existence, it was very rare for this polar vortex to basically break its containment from the physics and to keep it up there. But instead it broke. And so now that polar air, that really, really cold air, is going everywhere. And so now everything's messed up. Everything's messed up. And the entire time that, this is going on, I'll fix my camera here in a second. The entire time this is going on, are institutions that would protect and help Americans from literally lethal freezing temperatures across the United States, historically low temperatures across the U.S., following historically warm temperatures for the seasonality. All I'm saying is that the weather right now is really fucked up, and all they did was get rid of FEMA, gut it, protect the federal protections that support and protect Americans, redirect hundreds of billions of dollars to a fucking Gestapo, that is dragging American citizens out of their home in that cold. And now we're facing more and more storms. We were really lucky last year, hurricane-wise. They didn't get us.
Yeah.
But what if Melissa had hit Florida? What then? What's the conversation? I think about that a lot too. I think about what would have happened if, like, Melissa had hit, Florida, or the levees in New Orleans really broke.
Yeah.
And all these things. What does that mean what would that have meant for the regime? Right? Because it's like there's a certain level of, like, institutional credibility when a massive disaster happens and the government is fundamentally unable to deal with it. It affects visible credibility of the entire institution, like you said, the government.
Right. And somebody mentioned FEMA, and I don't know that FEMA's ready. I was, as a former contractor for FEMA who did disaster recovery work, one of the things that we benefited from was, and you always had to be ready for, was to go on 48 hours notice, because there's always money available immediately from FEMA to start fixing infrastructure, phone lines, power lines, water systems, all the main stuff. And I'm not so sure that that's there now. And I'm not sure long-term is there. Just like 2 months ago, they were still cutting checks for, what was the storm that hit in, like, Appalachia and stuff, and Carolinas, and all those people.
That was not hurricane. That was
I don't remember, but they were still cutting checks.
You can't remember the Category 5 hurricane.
Yeah.
Hit the United States. There's been so many this year that we can't remember which Category 5 hurricane we're referring to. I just want to point that out. And I don't remember either, but
But
Helene.
yeah,
There you
Helene,
go.
yeah, Helene.
We've got multiple names in the chat. Ida, Helene.
But yeah, no. And I mean, they're still cutting checks and they're small, like $10 million here and $15 million there. And it's like they're counting the couch change to try to send aid to these states. And it's just crazy. When Melissa hit Haiti and Cuba and all that stuff, Haiti and was it the Dominican Republic? No, it was Haiti and Jamaica got almost immediately like $40 million in aid, 500,000 pounds of food delivered, things like that. And I'm referencing this because the United States just sent $3 million, a whopping $3 million, to a region of Cuba with a population of like 2.5 million people, as aid for Hurricane Melissa. And like 2 days later, China shows up with 60,000 tons of rice and $60 million. And it's like, bro, where Venezuela delivered 12,000 tons of aid in like 3 weeks. The United States waited 2 months to send $3 million to Cuba. But I reference this because, Haiti and Jamaica got a lot of money right away, immediately. And you just don't see that happening in states. And you have to wonder, because State Department sends the money to these other countries. FEMA handles the money to our states. And FEMA was defunded. State Department wasn't. So, there's the contrast, right? You take money away from FEMA now, all of a sudden, with 3 inches of ice projected, like I think it was in Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas, the feel like temperature is going to be -4. We're expecting like 2 inches of ice in Oklahoma City. Those are cities not equipped for this. And what's FEMA's response going to be? Because I don't see these lines of power company trucks lining up for disaster aid.
Like they usually would be.
They only do that when they know they're going to get repaid.
Oh,
yeah. And I'll tell you right now, as a former FEMA contractor, I'm not calling up 45 trucks telling these guys you got to be ready in 48 hours because I'm not sure the money's there. Nobody's going to get off their ass until they hear from FEMA saying we have this much money for you guys to go do this.
Why you have a government so that the money is not a fucking problem, right? Because it's a measurement, if we're going to be like really honest, it's a measurement of lives of the people in the country against money. I don't know how much more clear it really needs to get for people that you are not valuable. You are fucking chattel to these people. They will throw you away. They will let you die. They will let you starve. They will let you suffer. And if you don't view them as they view you, which is that they don't fucking value your life, like you need to understand that they don't consider you even a person. They don't consider you worth the money or the effort to save your lives, which is stupid because the only thing that really makes the means of production possible at all is people. A truly automated world is nonsensical. It really wouldn't work. It's just like another one of those things where sure, and ideally, if everything was perfect, sure, but like people it's like assuming that because under conditions X and Y, you're going to get the result of an equation, but you're not accounting for Z, which is always going to be present during the reaction, right? Like I just made some really weird chemistry, but my point is like, I don't know. Does that make sense?
No, it does. I mean, at the end of the day, your only value to your government is really your production. You are the gross domestic product, right? There's a reason why they're always bashing the poor, the homeless, the disabled, things like that, because to them, in their eyes, they're not worth much as far as gross domestic product is, product wise. And that's how they see you. Your country's value and wealth is derived from its people and how much they put out economically. It's what you do with that economic output that really determines how your society functions, right? So they say socialism is take that economic output, and give a good portion of it back to the people by means of healthcare, education, things like that. But in a capitalist society, your economic output goes in somebody else's pocket, and they give you chump change. So that's how this. What's that? What'd you say?
Slavery. It's
Basically, yeah, wage slaves.
It's
Right?
that.
We're wage slaves. Yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean that's what it is. At the end of the day, that's kind of what it boils down to. And when you look at even poor countries in Latin America that provide healthcare to their people, they understand that the people's gross domestic product is what keeps the country viable. Therefore, you have to keep your population healthy and viable and working. And by covering the cost of healthcare, those people put their money back into the economy instead of someone else's pocket for nothing. And that's what our healthcare system is, right? You pay thousands of dollars every year, then you have to pay down this thousands of dollars of deductibles before you can actually use your insurance. It's just ridiculous. It's late stage capitalism, right?
Yeah, it's like everybody take a trip with me, and we're gonna go to our little mental whiteboard, okay? And on your mental whiteboard, you're gonna draw like a line. At the bottom, you put some little money symbols under there, and then it's gonna be like a lake. You put wavy, and you're like the people. So it's like the people, the middle class, right? That's the lake. And then you're gonna draw a bunch of little vacuums that are coming in, and each of those vacuums, one is going to be healthcare, the other is going to be shelter, the other is going to be food. And then you're going to turn on those vacuums, and then guess what's going to happen? The middle class is going to disappear.
Yeah.
Because the middle class is only the representation of the amount of cumulative wealth that it has to have a functional society. It's really that simple.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things that killed me, being operations manager for a couple companies, one of the things that always drove me nuts was how a company will charge you or charge a customer, say a residential customer, they're going to charge you like $60 per man hour, but they're only going to pay out like $15 per man hour. Why are you profiting $45 million or $45 off per hour off of the guy who's digging the hole? That just, you want to make your money off your product. You want to make your money off of everything else down the line, fuel, other expenses, whatever. Great. But the profit off of labor, and sure, maybe you can argue that there should be some profit for labor, but the vast majority of that labor, that money generated from that labor, should be going into that person's pocket, not into the boss's pocket who's sitting in the office pushing paper. So you get into this thing where capitalism rewards the hardest working people, but it doesn't. No. I worked my ass off, dude, as a contractor and as operations manager and all this stuff, and I struggled to get by every month. That that didn't generate wealth for me. I didn't become a quadruple millionaire or none of that. It was a struggle. So like it's just this society where everything is just weighted down to one side, and when money is equals power, it takes a lot of us to combat the trillions of dollars that these people are worth. You know what I mean? It's going to take a lot of us.
Yeah. And it's true. I mean, it's like, look, money doesn't make you smart, right?
Right.
Like money doesn't make you good at anything in particular, right? Like Trump was never good at anything. He's actually an idiot by any verifiable, measurable standard. He's a freaking moron.
He absolutely is.
But he is a Russian plant. He was groomed. He is a fucking mobster, because being a mobster is pretty easy when you're stupid and a narcissist, because you need to be brutal, you need to be ruthless, and you need to have absolutely zero moral compass. If all of those things are present in an individual, if you are able to just straight up fucking ignore morality and do what needs to be done, you win. Yeah. I think it's one of those things where I recently, Catherine Bauer, she joined me at the Firebrand Project, and she's now an analyst publishing under the project. Super exciting, but her background is psychology. And I bet you'd like her ICE article, Arturo, if you haven't read it already. That was her first contribution. She wrote a great article.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
So, but we were talking about these people, and she's like, was telling me that there's a difference between being a narcissist and a basically a I'm forgetting the name of it now, but basically there's a narcissist and then there's this other type of person, which is like a sociopathic narcissist, right? And they're like even worse because they have like no feelings at all. And so when you have these people, these sociopathic narcissists, they end up in, and I feel like they end up in charge of countries. They end up in charge of organizations. They end up in charge of churches or corporate or businesses or regional governments. Why? Why does this keep happening? Because there's a advantage. There's a evolutionary advantage in terms of acquiring power in not having moral barriers or apprehensions to the actions that you're willing to take. If there is no filter, you and me are going to be like, yeah, I could have the house next door, but I would have to murder the people who live there. So that's a no-go. I just am not going to do that. But for someone like, MBS, who not only is entirely devoid of feelings or any like emotional barrier that would be there to getting what he wants. In fact, he enjoys it. And so, like people don't talk about, we talk about Khashoggi, right? And what was done to Khashoggi, Jamal Khashoggi. If you don't know, MBS had him brutally murdered in the Saudi, the embassy in Istanbul. But the thing they don't talk about a lot is that it was all recorded. And the larger allegation is that MBS listened to the whole thing of them brutally murdering this guy. And I'm not going to go into how it happened. If you really want to know, you can look it up, but I don't feel like talking about it.
You only record that for one reason.
That's exactly right. Because he wanted to hear this guy suffering. And this guy was calling out his government for human rights abuses, for corruption, for all these things. And then a very personal ending was orchestrated for this man. One in which the U.S. intelligence agencies straight up said outright that, yeah, he did it. We are certain that he did it. And there he is. Walter, my boy.
What's up?
Hey! Oh, I'm here. Okay, let me shut this off.
And so they were like certain that he did it, and I just like am sitting here thinking like the reason that we have this, what we're looking at right now, systems and governments that don't care about people at all, is exactly because those are the fucking people that we let get in charge every time because we are too fucking nice to them.
Megalomaniacs.
Beat them up. We need to beat them up and shove them in a hole and say, get the fuck out of here. We don't want you. You can't be nice to a sociopath who will kill you for a Hershey's bar. You can't do it. There is no ethical or moral. Like if you treat a sociopathic narcissist who would kill you to live in your home because they want your house, not as politely, if you give them equal protect, like, you know what I'm saying? It just like, it doesn't work. It's a fucking pipe dream. It's a fantasy to have a world where that works.
Right. And like real quick, I wanted to, somebody asked, what is a slave wage? A slave wage is a wage that barely keeps you alive, that barely keeps you as a functioning member of society. During slavery, the enslavement era, did slavers not feed their slaves? Did slavers not put clothes on their back? They did because they had to. Today, they give us a little bit of chump change just so we can put clothes on our back, just so we can eat, just so we can get by, and none of us can generate any generational wealth like the slaver, like the corporatist, like the only capitalist in this country are the people with the billions and trillions of dollars. They are the slave. They are the master. We are the wage slave. I hope that answered that question. But anyway, welcome, Walter.
Hey guys, I'm sorry. Oh, it's so great to see you guys. I'm catching up on what you were talking about, and it's all this shit that's been on my mind too. But before we get, but I'm just so excited to talk about that drawing by my daughter. And it's just that you guys got up in the corner there. It makes me so happy this last week. I gotta adjust my background, but I want to mention the one about Arturo, because it's like, because Arturo, I mean, what you look like a badass, all the time. You're like, this is a guy that he's got a face that's like, do not fuck with me, his face. And my daughter took one look at your face and she drew your shining, beautiful soul, and that's what the profile. I just think that's it makes me so happy to think that, and it's just like she just saw right through your exterior. She's like, this is just a lovely human being. It just makes me.
That's all. That's kind of how I felt too, because I don't know why a lot of people are intimidated by me, but I always get a lot of that, the standoffish stuff, and I'm actually a really nice, kind of down to earth kind of dude, and like that picture, that did it. That drawing did it.
Well, the way I look at it, I've seen you and I'm like, Arturo's got the face of a guy who has been fucked with. Like people have messed with him. You've seen this. It's like, it's like, and it's just like, it's all with me. It's like, I just want to make Arturo laugh. It's like, that's just because I know, I just understand. I mean, I just feel kindred, like you're a kindred soul to me. And I'm just like, let's make him laugh. And so I just like that my daughter instantly saw you as like this. It's like just the angelic version of you, I think. And then like with Shane, I mean, I keep saying my daughter princessified us. She turned, except me, but she princessified, and that's just kind of her.
She almost made you look angrier.
Yeah, right. I've never seen you that angry.
I'm like, dang, you're always still kind of smiling when you're angry, but in the picture, you're like.
That's funny, but that and seeing you guys use those as your profile pics, that just made me feel so happy. So I appreciate that. I gotta get it on mine too. I love it. Absolutely. A little kinder, gentler world with these pictures. Yeah, they're laughing. Yeah. Oh yeah, I love it when somebody can look at you and paint your soul. That's the greatest talent. Yeah.
So we were talking about the weather earlier. What's it like where you're at, Walter?
25 below. I was saying this is actually a blessing in disguise, because I'm not that far from Minneapolis and it's that cold. And those fucking white supremacists that they've been marching in to terrorize Minneapolis, they're going to freeze their ass. Those little wimps can't handle that. And it's like, you learn this. I mean, Germany learned this when they invaded Russia.
Yeah.
Well, actually, every country that's tried to invade Russia has learned this. When you bring up the white supremacists, they can't handle it. They're all a bunch of betas. They're just going to sit in their hotel rooms like this, and the kids will be safe. Like the 5-year-olds, those fuckers are out tear gassing 5-year-olds. And this is the thing that's been on my mind. There was that memo that got released where ICE is claiming that they now have authority to enter homes without a warrant. And the article I wrote for tomorrow is, they're going to be an assassination squad now, because, it's like, that was the wrong house. We broke into that house in the middle of the night. We shot the guys. Oh, whoops. So it's like politicians got to start taking this shit. They're just ignoring this still. And it's at this point, it's like, they're turning ICE into an assassination squad. The reason we have like judicial warrants is so that they double check the damn warrant before they burst in down doors in the middle of the night and start arresting people.
Well, that was
going to get dangerous.
Circuit, right? So that it's not even that they legalized it. It's the same pattern of enabling where you have, it's proven that our appeal system has and can be weaponized against people to allow for dangerous and lethal fucking action by the government against the masses. You can't tell me the legal system is working when an appeal can allow you to resume tear gassing 5-year-olds. You don't get to tell me the fucking system works. You're full of shit. Our institutions are cooked. They're cooked. Like, they just don't work. It's that simple. Just because there's a good judge here and a good judge there and a judge who's going to rule against it, if they can just appeal to the 8th Circuit or the 9th Circuit or the Supreme Court and it goes away, well, then it doesn't work. Yeah. Like
we had an incident.
Fucking click for people.
Right. We had an incident a couple years ago here in Houston. It's referred to as the Harding Street Raid. And that's where a no-knock warrant was obtained using manufactured evidence by a cop who was known as Pac-Man on the streets here, who was constantly manufacturing evidence on people, had a history of it. A judge signs off on this no-knock warrant. They kick this guy's door down. Dude thinks, him and his wife think it's a home invasion.
They fight back.
They grab their weapons and start shooting. They shot 5 cops. 5 cops came in there, killed them and their dog. And they found nothing in the house except for like a nickel bag of weed. They pinned this guy in court as a heroin dealer in the 3rd Ward here in Houston. And man, this turned into like this huge disaster. You had the police unions. This was all right around 2020 with the Black Lives Matter stuff. Police unions were coming out, threatening activists. Like, if you keep talking trash about the cops, like essentially blaming the couple for shooting at police officers. And then the truth comes out and all these cops were wrong. And the cop, he's a black guy, Gerald Goins, Pac-Man, got sent to prison for double murder. And all the white cops that were involved got away with it, walked away. He was the only one that paid. And like, you cannot tell me the system works. The system failed issuing the warrant. It failed when they raided the house and killed these people, and it failed when it came to accountability. So no, you hit the nail on the head. The system does not work. It doesn't.
And people need to drop this idea. Like, I know everybody in America has been indoctrinated with the Second Amendment bullshit. Like, they can protect their house with the firearm. You're going to die. You know, there is no violence. We have to be nonviolent. This, you know, if a militarized group comes to your house and starts launching tear gas and they've got 30 soldiers, you have to not, you can't respond with violence because they're going to murder you. Everybody will be dead.
Yeah.
And it's like, maybe, you know, it's like, so just quit saying that. And people just have to quit even thinking about this. Like, that's all been a lie. The Second Amendment has always been a lie. You're not going to protect, you're going to be dead. Our only way out of this is nonviolence, peaceful. We got to be calm. We got to make our politicians fucking assholes like Adam Kinzinger. We got to put pressure on him because he's a guy who can say, look, they're turning ICE into a political assassination unit. Oh shit. We meant to go to this guy's house. We're at Chuck Schumer's house. Oh, we didn't realize that until we got done shooting, you know?
Yeah.
This isn't like fantasy stuff. This is happening.
But, you know, I have to say, it's like, look, you want to have like, and I understand you want to we pressure the politicians. We do that. I get it. Okay, I do. But at the same time, I'm seeing a speech of Chuck Schumer fucking emphatically endorsing Israel as I'm watching Israel set up what appears to be the ethnic cleansing of 2 million people for 2026. And I'm not saying, no, I fucking mean it. I mean, like, some serious institutional march, you know, Trail of Tears shit, death marches, Nazi death marches shit. Like, at the same time as they're making deals with Somaliland for the relocation of 2 million people, Kushner's at the WEF pitching Gaza Riviera as fucking the IDF is ramping up operations in Gaza again. Okay. I'm just saying, like, what politicians? It's very clear at this point that not only is the global geopolitical order entirely transactional, our country has become 100% transactional. If the United States federal government can be a transactional entity on an international level, we are being silly to assume that our institutions in this country are not already fundamentally, intrinsically transactional. We cannot assume. Why the actual fuck is Chuck Schumer sitting here emphatically defending the perpetrators of the most visible genocide in the world right now? And I'm going to use the word visible because it is not the only one.
Right.
In fact, there is too many to count. We are worse than we have ever been as a species if you look really hard at the world right now.
You know, and Schumer's coming out saying this stuff after all these studies are showing, and you know, Ron Paul called this out a long time ago, that the deaths in Palestine are in the hundreds of thousands. A new Harvard study says 400,000. So we're no longer talking about 2 million people. We're talking about 1.8.
They just killed 3
journalists. To 1.8.
So we're documenting the refugee camp conditions. They got killed.
Right. So, the idea that anybody could be defending this at this point is ridiculous. And when they do defend it, it exposes them for what they are.
Yeah.
I had people coming at me recently because I called it a genocide. And, oh, you called it a genocide. That tells me you don't know history. So I share the definition of genocide, and they shut the hell up because the definition of genocide is exactly what Israel is doing right now.
Yeah.
And you can't deny that. And to argue that anybody has divine providence, these are the words used by colonizers in the U.S., that anybody has divine providence over a piece of land, is absurd to me. You will never justify that you're entitled to a piece of dirt because God said so. No.
I want to read you guys a story too.
No.
From yesterday, from my report yesterday, because it goes to say what you're talking about with these settlers and everything. And I was like reading this and I'm like, you just can't make this shit up. Like you can't, like, there's just no. So yesterday I reported on this. And so there's a lot of stuff in this newsletter. If you guys haven't already read it, I recommend you do.
It's a good one.
This was yesterday. So Israel has awarded more gun permits to settlers as 2025 reports of violence surge against Palestinians. In 2025, the situation in the occupied West Bank has deteriorated significantly, marked by a sharp increase in violence against Palestinians by Israeli settlers. The United Nations reported over 1,800 settler attacks, averaging 5 per day, which resulted in casualties and property damage across approximately 280 Palestinian communities. This surge in violence coincides with the Israeli government's policies under National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir, who has authorized the issuance of gun licenses to residents of 18 additional legal settlements. This move is part of a broader strategy to expand illegal settlements and has led to the arming of settlers with military-grade weapons, further emboldening them and contributing to the climate of impunity. And this is a quote from Al Jazeera here, and I'm just gonna read this. There's some more of it, but I'll read this actually really quick. So an unprecedented number of over 240,000 Israelis have received gun permits since the policy expansion. That's 250,000 people have been fucking armed with military grade weapons. That's ICE, except 250,000 people.
Yeah.
This is their brown shirts. Okay. These settlers are the brown shirts. Okay. That is what you're seeing. And so look, what if I told you that this was ICE? What if I replaced this and said that the United States
not far from that
increased ICE recruitment to 240,000.
Yeah.
And they're just giving anyone who wants to kill a lib a gun.
Well, mainly white supremacists they're giving the badge to. That's who they're recruiting from.
Real quick, Homeland Security employs over 200,000 people.
God damn.
Just so you know.
We got to get, somebody mentioned Jen Budd. We should have her on here.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
And this is the thing. And a lot of people are talking. The main thing I've been working on lately is just, just having that awakening. Like, how do we provoke that awakening? Not necessarily even among our politicians. It's among white people. White people are the ones that have to wake the fuck up. And I mean, this applies to me too, because I'd been hearing about this stuff, but it wasn't until I interviewed my friend who was boots on the ground in Minneapolis, and he was videotaping while he was out blowing whistles and signaling. It's like, there's ICE. And then it's like, oh, holy shit, and it's like, this is an hour away from me that this is happening. And just Americans are just not, because it's always been going on, as Arturo has mentioned. Border Patrol's always been just murdering people and raping people, and ICE has been doing this all these years too. And we just can't get people, because too many white people are the ones, and Chuck Schumer is like, I'll just go in the gym and sit down and talk to these guys while I'm getting a workout, and a lot will get done. And it's just like, buddy, they're going door to door now. They're murdering people. You can't fight back. They're going to abduct your family, They might rape your wife and kids right in front of you. And if you interfere, they're like, you're interfering with my investigation, and they shoot you.
Right.
And it's like, you're saying things like this, and people are like, well, that's not it. That is the reality of this has to stop now. And this is why we have to put pressure. Like I still say, like, Adam Kinzinger is a perfect guy to be an opposition to this, because he's claiming he's changed sides, and he was the one. He's got all this credibility because of J6. He should be out in Minnesota right now. Every time he posts something, though, it's like a meme of the president in a swimming suit. I'm like, you fucking asshole. They're out tear gassing, nerve gassing 5-year-old kids, abducting them. That video that Arturo showed the other day, that kid being reunited, was so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And people would have to be aware of this. Go ahead, Arturo.
No, and the thing about this is that, you know, if you fight back, you're a terrorist, right? And like Shane, to Shane's point about what's going on in Israel and Gaza, like, you know, for Palestinians, this has been the story for 80 years, you know, and then when they fight back, they're the terrorists. And that's where we're going. That's where we're headed. And I know a lot of people want to just say, oh, that's because ISIS trained by the IDF, partially, but it's a lot more than that. We're not mimicking Israel. Israel is mimicking us, just like Hitler did, just like other dictators have. You know, Israel copied our Jim Crow policies.
Who militarized their police first, right?
Yes.
Like, who did all this shit? Like, you know, you're right. Yeah, you're so fucking right, bro. It's crazy.
That's who we are as a country. So people are like, when we're supposedly the beacon of democracy, the pillar of freedom, a guy like Putin has to just point his finger like, well, they did it. That's the beacon of freedom and democracy. You know, so like, you're empowering dictators, and then when you call them out, you're going to be a hypocrite for it. And what we call propaganda is all these other world leaders doing just that. The United States does it. Why are we the bad guy? You know, and they, you know, in the US, that's propaganda, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy to me. Like, I don't like Putin, never liked Putin, but, you know, he's right to call us out sometimes because we're hypocrites.
What? And this is why it's reckless. It's not only reckless, but it's dangerous to listen to just the mainstream media that keeps normalizing everything. Like, everybody needs to be off there. I mean, that's just lulling you into, that's the people like, oh yeah, the Titanic's not sinking. Just continue to listen to the violin music. Continue to listen to that. And then all these, and I've been saying this to people too, that influx of the former journalists who came to Substack, they're not here in solidarity. They are here in suppression. Because they want to and that's Kinzinger, that's all those guys. Cohen, he's exposed himself now. Oh, we're fighting back. But then they're like, it's not as bad as you think it is. And it's like, we have so many people listening to that, to the extent that people get brainwashed. And when people like Arturo show these videos of ICE just torturing little kids, then, you know, then you're extreme Arturo. He's just extreme. He's on the fringes. It's like, look, everybody, they're not our friends. Like, these centrist guys who are trying to normalize all this shit, they're not our friends. They're trying to suppress information, but they're doing it like every now and then they'll stand up for something. Oh, J6 was wrong. But then they're like, oh, attacking Venezuela, that's the right call. All this other bullshit, that's all the right call. It's like every single time we have an opportunity to make advancement and awaken the general public, these fucking centrist saboteurs suck the wind out of our sails, make people like me and Shane and Arturo, they're like, oh, those guys are fringe, they're alarmists, they're extremists. We got the videos, we got the receipts, and the heroes with people like the people who videotaped Renee Nicole Good being murdered. Because of that, we have the facts, because we know this regime, exactly as Arturo says, the second they come in and kill you, you're going to be a terrorist. The internet is going to be flooded with information from this regime calling you a terrorist. It's like people are not excited enough about what's going on. It's dangerous right now. It is really dangerous. I'm an hour away from it. I've seen it way too close for my liking. It's coming to your neighborhood too, unless we do something that's peaceful and lawful and we apply the right pressure and make it stop.
It's like so frustrating. I don't really know like what to look like. If I'm being honest, like I see a lot of people saying a lot of things. I've heard a lot of people say a lot of things about a lot of, you know, you got to go on strike. You got to boycott them. I think a strike would work, but do I think Americans are going to strike? No, I don't. Am I sorry? Am I sad to say that? Am I a buzzkill? Sure. Fuck, whatever. But you know what? I am a pragmatic person. I said at the very beginning, I am looking at America I'm trying to look at America as if I was looking at any other country ever, anywhere on this fucking earth. And what I would say is this country is entirely apathetic. It is watching a fucking armed militia enter into one of its major metropolitan centers, backed by the government. Okay. And they are killing and dragging people out of their homes in the snow. Children. And life continues as usual. I don't really fucking know what to say. I'm sorry if me saying that we're not capable and what we're doing isn't enough. If that upsets you, I'm sorry. I'm not saying that you directly are the reason this is happening. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is what is happening is not enough. What is happening is failing. You still have people in leadership positions who are leading. And when I say leading, I mean, influencing, okay, from influential leaders across the space who are at this point, who have normalized the behavior by reporting on it the way they report on it every day. Unfortunately, they don't use the right words. They don't escalate the rhetoric and tell the story enough to really make sense. Like, look, if you want to drop the headlines the Washington Post does every day, like clockwork, every single day, you're doing what the Washington Post did. You're just saying that you're not them. And apparently that fucking appeals to people. Okay. Right. But like, look, the better I get at doing my fucking news show, the things that I do, the more and more disillusioned I am with the work that quote unquote is being touted as the pinnacle of the Forbes 30 under 30, right? Like, wow, whoopty fucking do, bro. Yeah. Like, I'm sorry. What, you want a cookie? Like, whatever. Like, why are you reporting on the fact that he flipped off an auto worker? Yeah. What's up? Who fucking cares?
It's narrative suppression.
Probably died because of ice. In that same fucking day, I'm willing to bet money that you could have replaced that time with a dead body. And I promise you, there is no shortage of dead bodies. They're everywhere. Everywhere you look, there is no shortage of bodies. Okay. What's more important? Like, it's like, unless it pushes into the sphere from which these people are grabbing from, which is inherently normalized what's going on. It's a disappointment. It's a fundamental disappointment. It's a failure of our media, of us as a media community, to demand that we are told what fucking matters. And there was millions of people who would throw themselves on the train tracks and sacrifice themselves for someone who is barely doing anything remarkable whatsoever, but being touted as some fucking god of resistance. And it's pathetic. We need to be better. We need to be fucking smarter. We need to demand all of the shit because it's not enough. It's not enough. And if you know what, Shane, hey, I'm at the point where there's a line, okay? And I can't easily get to Minnesota. I can't get to Minneapolis. But here's what I'm going to tell you. If I was within 2 to 3 hours of Minneapolis, you wouldn't see me reporting. You would see me standing by the sides of the fucking people who are being attacked. And anywhere else in the world, you would see a organized local resistance, an armed one, because they are being attacked by an armed militia. You do not fight a armed militia with fucking cameras, because all we've achieved is recording us getting killed. And that is evidence submitted to a legal system that doesn't work. Right. I'm sorry. Wait, this doesn't work. It's not working. And I'm sorry to say it. I hate to say it, but we fucking failed on every front. We have failed. We have touted people who speak half truths, and we've elevated them as gods. We've made them millionaires. Millionaires. There's billionaires who are destroying the world, and we're making these people fucking centimillionaires right now. Michael Cohen made how much money?
Why?
Poor Ellie Leonard, who was making fucking no money found his name after tirelessly working for hundreds of
hours
on the Epstein files.
Right.
And now he's making fucking more money as Fox News, and he is again sensationalized, and he's trying to get in. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But fucking when I called out months ago, when I called out Kinzinger, and I was calling out Midas.
Oh, they come after us.
And I get fucking attacked. Viciously attacked.
Yep. Happened to me the other day.
Go anywhere they want and do whatever they want because of the money that you gave them.
Yeah.
They're not worried about ICE. They get a fucking plane ticket to Canada tomorrow. They don't care about you, because if they did, they would tell you anything other than what they're telling you.
They're the distraction mechanism that gets rewarded. Right. What were you going to say, Arturo? You got some thoughts.
One, there's a couple things, but one, like I've been doing what I do since 2011. So to watch some kid who reads headlines become a millionaire instantly is really frustrating.
Fuck, I know. Yeah.
The other thing,
the
other thing about that so-called journalist is, you know how you know someone's not a journalist is when Politico refers to you as a journalist and you go on social media and say, oh, they referred to me as a journalist. Thanks for proving you're not a journalist, because journalists don't care about being called a writer, journalist, whatever. I have people that call me a freelance writer as opposed to a freelance journalist. It doesn't bother me none. I don't care. You see me however you want to see me.
Minnesota Post, Arturo Dominguez.
Yeah, it's just nuts because, like, you know, I've accomplished some things. You know, I've like over 100 of my articles. Everything at Latino Rebels is in the Library of Congress. You know, like I've got almost 1,000 articles out there. Like I've done a lot of things, and like, you know, little white kid comes along, and all of us, you know, his little white kid whose dad was involved in some really corrupt shit comes along, reads you some headlines, and all of a sudden he's not mainstream media when he's just repeating what mainstream media says. It's just astonishing to me how easily I think it's a comfort thing. It's also a willful 100%. Ignorance thing. People gravitate towards that because they think it's not what it actually is.
Yep. I want to say right away, I don't consider myself a journalist. I consider both of you guys journalists. I do different things. And what I've been trying to do is, I mean, and Arturo, you'll have experience with this, but how do we activate the white population to just see the truth? Yeah, he rolls his eyes like, but that's really what it comes down to. It's like this self-inflicted delusion, you know, and you said it too. It's like, oh, this is comfort food. I remember this guy when he was on the mainstream media. Now he's telling you the same lies as before. And it's like, everybody, please, the people that created this situation, the people who fucked up this situation will not unfuck it up. They just continue to want to get rich. And I mean, Ellie Leonard is she's doing great work. I'm talking with her later today. She's like all by herself going through. She's got a whole group of people helping her with the Epstein files. She keeps bringing that to the surface. But we also have to remember that what they're doing, I mean, this ICE thing is as big a scandal as the Epstein file. It's not a distraction. It is the same level. I mean, you can't murder somebody to distract from the other murder. It's escalating at this quick rate. And we can't listen to all these. And, you know, you certainly just give me the benefit of the doubt. Go watch all the videos. And there's a lot of people that haven't watched the murder of Renee Nicole Good. They just haven't watched it. You got to put your eyes on that. You got to put your eyes on every video of ICE abusing some child. It makes me sick to my stomach. And it makes me also sick to my stomach that we live in a country where millions of people can know this is going on. And they'll say things like, well, it's just it's just one incident. It's like one incident is too many. One incident is too many. Yeah. One little child who gets, you know, their life destroyed and has to endure lifelong trauma because some white supremacist was handed a badge and no training and was told by a white supremacist organization to go out and get relief for all your grievances of your self-loathing on completely innocent people. Here's 100,000 taxpayer dollars for you to do that. And then our elected Democrats go and get them even more fucking money. And then we don't say anything. So to me, it's, and what Shane was talking about, it's that apathy. And I mean, how many people are we at in the chat right now? We're at 253. And I mean, thank you for being here. This is the group you found this corner that the whole United States of America wants to suppress and silence. But we're the ones who are trying to prevent the Gestapo from coming to your door. And like all these other people that are supported and are millionaires and they have that influence, they're just acting like it's no big deal because we can be sacrificed and all of you can be sacrificed. And as Shane said, all these rich assholes who claim to stand for us, the second the temperature gets turned up on them a little bit, they're out of here. They're going to go live on some private island somewhere with probably access to a bunch of horrible shit we don't even want to contemplate. So just be aware.
Yeah, don't underestimate how much money we've actually given these people. Okay,
yeah.
I want to be very clear.
Yeah.
None of us make a lot of money here. Okay, we don't. And like the number of paid subscribers that I have, and I don't want to go into specifics. Doesn't matter. But my point is, if these people, right, and even if we're gonna fucking assume that through all the pay things, they're getting 30% taken away. Of course, if you win the lottery, they take 60%. So you're looking, let's just assume the number is going to be chopped by a certain percentage. If I am looking at the numbers, what I get right now, the annual versus what I made, anyway, I don't make that much. But if I extrapolate that to a Midas or an Aaron Parnas or a Don Lemon or a Costa, okay? I'm not making a little money. I'm making more fucking money probably than I was before. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Why are you making someone rich who offers you nothing? If a man said, I will teach you calculus for $100, and you say, okay, that sounds like a great deal. I don't know calculus. And you show up with $100 and you give it to him and he says, the first letter in calculus is C. Perfect. I'll see you next week. And you say, well, that's weird. Yeah. Okay. And then you go and see this guy, you end up giving him how many letters are in calculus? C, A, L, C. So like, I don't know, like 9. I don't want to count. But let's say you end up paying this guy close to $1,000. Okay. And you come back and he says, all right, you're welcome. I'm done. What do you mean? I haven't learned calculus. He said, of course you have. C-A, yeah. C-A-L-C-U-L-U-S. And you're like, well, fuck you. I get, he made good on his word.
Money's
he made good on his word. You know, it doesn't matter to him. And now he's got $1,000. The reality is I can tell you that the things that I write, okay? And I use some tools. I use tools. I have a lot of great tools that I use to put out the volume that I put out every day in my newsletter. And I'm actively shrinking that all the time because I think it's too much for people to absorb. So I'm trying to make it better and more condensed and all these things.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not impressed with these guys who are making 40 fucking times what me, Walter Arturo are making. You know, like it's not impressive. So if your standard is, I like how it sounds when he says calculus, so I want to pay him money. So, but it's like, God, like who fucking cares? Like Michael Cohen, there's still people defending Michael Cohen in his lives because they're so detached from reality that they don't, that the idea that Michael Cohen could turn on the people is absurd. Just like the idea that Midas Touch would take so fucking long to, I don't know, cut ties with Michael Cohen. Almost like they needed to tie up some fucking loose ends before they parted ways, you know? And what
we got these guys though, they're coasting on the mechanism of oppression. They're not trying to change it. They're not trying to make it better. Guys like Kinzinger are like, well, it's not that bad because he's already been enriched by it. And it's always easier if you've got this established norm to go to the general public and be like, yeah, but this is everything you grew up with when you were 9 and 10 and 15 and 30 and 20. And it was all oppression throughout that whole time. So what we're trying to do is just like, you know, that nothing works. This hasn't worked. I'm 50, hasn't worked my whole life, you know, and it's like, And I'm not the person. I have had opportunities where I could have enriched myself by fucking people over, and I chose not to do that. So I drive a used car and I do all these other things so I don't have to exploit and oppress people. And the second, but then one of these rich assholes, I lost my cushy job as a congressman where I got state-funded healthcare. I deny everybody else because the president actually tried to kill me. And that finally was a line too far, even though I voted with him every other fucking time. And then you get all these other people are like, well, that guy's a hero. Look at how much he gave up. And it's like, he gave up the shit he prevented us from ever having. By the way, there was a racialized black man named Benny Thompson on that committee too. You could consider him a hero. Oh, you want the young white fighter pilot to be reverential towards. But it's like getting through that part of people's brains, because it's that mechanism is installed in everybody. And that's what's really hard here. It's because if you're outside that system, and I compared it recently to, you're in love with somebody, right? You're in love. That's the established mechanism. And then one day you just have to recognize that the person you love is abusive to you. So you have to make that transition. And that gap, we're at that gap moment. How do we make that gap? And I've talked to a lot of people. You try to have interventions with people. You got to have interventions with people who are drug addicts. Oh, I can quit anytime I want. America's there. They need that intervention moment. And so many people I talk to, the ones that pile on me when I'm like, Kinzinger, please use your platform to go to Minneapolis and expose ICE as a domestic terrorist organization. Please do that. And people go, Walter, you're being too divisive. You're burning bridges. You're pushing them away. It's like, little kids are getting tear gassed and beaten and taken from their families. And you're mad at me because I'm asking Kinzinger to go there and use his platform that everybody on Substack gave him. And that's Walter, why they entrusted him with that.
Trump flipped off an auto worker. That's way more important. It's way more important, Walter.
When it comes to
children.
When it comes to
sorry, go ahead, Arturo.
No. When it comes to Never Trumpers, I'm gonna read you a quote from Malcolm X. I'm gonna read you a quote from Malcolm X. I believe in the brotherhood of man, all men, but I don't believe in the brotherhood with anybody who doesn't want brotherhood with me. I believe in treating people right, but I'm not gonna waste my time trying to treat somebody right who doesn't know how to return the treatment. Fuck Adam Kinzinger, man. Fuck Midas. Fuck all them Republicans who got us here, who made the way for a guy like Trump, and then Trump goes a little crazy. Now it's Never Trumpers. No, sorry. Hard pass.
Yeah. Well, he made them feel the heat, but they're not interested. They only want him to stop there. It's like, oh, wait now. The rich guy, am feeling uncomfortable, but they don't give a shit about all the poor people who've been tortured this whole time. And then for some reason, so many Americans, because Americans are cowards. It really is the fact. Americans are fucking cowards. They're more interested in being able to come home and watch Netflix and fucking chill than they are to defend the rights of 5-year-old kids who are being abused and tortured. And God knows how, more terrible, heinous things than you can even imagine are happening right now. We all got our heads in the sand. We're going to be held accountable for this one way or another, whether it's through the secret police coming to our door, or just like the eternal torture of wasting our lives in a way that is not righteous. We didn't dedicate ourselves to integrity or kindness. Our kids are going to hate us. We got to fix these things. And it's not going to happen by listening to these old voices who are presenting themselves as friends. So they take the money that should go to people that actually would try to support and change things. They're here to sabotage. It's not solidarity. This mechanism of oppression is 90% of the media, and it's only small groups like us and people like Ellie Leonard, like you said, and Nick Paro and all these other people that we talk to. Other than that, I'm not seeing it pretty much anywhere.
Like the only person, okay, and I'm sorry, I'm going to go back because there's a comment and it triggered me, and it's the rant. So I'm going to respond to it as opposed to just shoving it down. Lisa Nuska, okay, I respect your opinion, and I'm going to officially rebut the fuck out of you. Respectfully. Okay? So here's the comment. Quit slagging Midas. There are different ways to try and slay a dragon. Ben has supported many independent in America and Canada. Talking about money makes you look petty. Cohen is a turncoat, and Trump will take care of him. So I'm going to address this in order. Quit slagging Midas. One, if you're going to defend Midas, at least spell it correctly, please. It's Meidas. Okay. Don't bandwagon really hard. just at least spell it right. It's just a pet peeve of mine because I always fucking spell my irrelevant. I'm a little upset. I understand. I'm trying to slay the dragon. If we want to slay the dragon, you got to slay the dragon. But if the dragon is sitting on all the money, how do you get the people to go and slay the dragon? You say, hey, the dragon stole all your fucking money.
Yeah. Yeah.
What the fuck do you mean?
Yeah.
The only thing that matters in the world, my entire fucking job, my whole job is to report to you how money is fucking up the world. It's what I do every day, all day long. The only thing that matters is money. You can't, if you, like, it's what I was saying in the beginning, you probably weren't here. But these people don't give a fuck about people or bodies or money or the world or the environment or, I don't know, famine. They don't care. They're buying up the best land in Canada that the apocalypse scientists are saying they need to have in droves by the acre. If you're in Canada, holy shit, talk to your government and say, we don't want all the fucking billionaire fascists to come live here when they destroy the planet.
Yeah. Hoarding water so we all have to die of thirst. Go ahead, Arturo.
Is it really petty when somebody like me, right, a stroke survivor, has to decide between groceries and prescriptions every month?
Yeah, fuck.
Is that petty for me to be here and say that, you know, people have a tendency to reward the little white kid who steals from people like me as opposed to rewarding the guy he stole from? Yeah, like, are you joking here? Because that what's petty is defending millionaires who don't give two shits about you. That's kind of pathetic, man. They don't give a fuck about any of us. They just want your money. Never Trumpers are picking liberals' pockets. That's it. Yes. That's the only reason they're being loud. They want that liberal money because without Trump, they ain't worth a shit.
They don't get views if they don't have Trump because they're not fucking reporters.
Right.
If they regurgitate what Trump is doing.
But they're not talking about Epstein much, you know. They're not talking about the ICE. They're just like, oh, it's just the most asinine way to cover the guy, like his vote, and he's not even relevant at this point anymore. All this other shit. Where is the media looking into all these bankers and shit? That I mean, the names are already out there. There's all these bankers that are on those Epstein files, and they're just making it like, when are they? The only story they're telling is, when are they going to release the files? Ellie Leonard's showing us there's plenty of actionable information already out there.
Prosecuting Ellie Leonard and a fucking lawyer could bring down the whole fucking government. Okay,
like I have enough money to do that. We need to support her. Give it to her at least. Cancel those other places and give it to Ellie. Holy cow!
Shit.
And Arturo. We could. I don't know if everyone supporting Midas with fucking $10 a month decided to.
That's crazy.
That $10, put it in a legal fund to support a private in the Epstein files. That might actually happen. That'll probably fucking happen.
Yeah, we don't have to go through these gatekeepers. See, that's the thing. Every single gatekeeper stops progress. All they do is protect this unfair mechanism. And we just have to, and the topic is, how do we activate white people so that they just, because I wrote an article the other day about, it's like, because Ellie has 500,000 followers, and it's like she just wrote about how an agent rejected her book. So I'm just like, this makes no sense. These wire gatekeepers, it's like, and then so many people are writing back to me like, well, you know, they're not going to make money. It's like, listen to yourself. You know, it's like, obviously, if she has that many engaged followers, the book is going to sell. And it's like, people are just so contorted, and they're just assuming there's some sort of a reason there. The reason is corruption. You know, our entire system, as Shane said, none of it works. It's by design. You're allowed, if you are a rich person who did something heinous, you can go to appeals court. As long as you have money, you go to appeals court. You don't even have to probably pay your lawyers. The lawyers then don't get their money. I mean, those guys have so much money and power. They're never held accountable. And we have to make people recognize this. Like, just, it's like the white lack of understanding of just the true level of corruption. I've been trying to figure out ways to convey it to them. I say, look, you know, I've got immigrant kids. If ICE comes to our school to kill my kids, are you worried they might knock your kids down too? Because I know they don't give a shit about my kids. I have to put it in terms of them. I'll call the police and say that, hey, your child or the child of somebody you love is at the school. Are you worried that when they come to kill my kids, they might hurt, you know, that somebody you actually care about? I mean, maybe we could do this in a little bit less horrible way. And just the fact that we have to contort these arguments and put it in terms that white people who actually have the power to stop this, because if they rose up and they started canceling all their subscriptions, I mean, we saw it with Jimmy Kimmel. You cancel all your subscriptions to Disney and Disney changes its tune. We cancel our subscriptions to Adam Kinzinger. Maybe he'll show up. When you cancel, you say reason for cancellation. Go to Minneapolis and record what's happening with ICE. Denounce ICE as domestic terrorists. He'll go. And if he does that, sign up for him again. I'm totally fine with supporting the guys who use their platform.
Have a purple check mark? I believe Cohen had a purple check. He doesn't anymore. Yeah. That's an orange. This is a solid orange. That means he went under 10K. Now, that means he lost income. I want to be very clear. Like, there is a lot of fucking money in subscriptions. A lot of money. And here's what's crazy to me in that comment, they've helped independent media. Let me give you an example of how you would actually do that, how I want to do it, because I want to do that. Of course, I have no money to do that, but
right.
I need to keep my fucking dogs fed and take care of my life. And I would really, really like to, pay Cat. That's like my primary goal. But there's a lot of ways to compensate writers. You don't need to just fully endorse them or have them on for a show or anything. In fact, it's very common to pay per word. Okay, it's a very simple model. You ask someone to write you 2,000-3,000 words. You pay them 5 cents a word. They send it to you with an editor and you post it and you pay them. Okay, why is Midas not doing that with a literal legion fucking of people? I know they make over $1 million a month. The model with that financial backing, what should be happening is you should be having on the ground reporters everywhere. You should have a legion of researchers working 24/7. You should have editors and analysts. You should not be a fucking YouTube rage bait channel.
That's what it is.
But that's what it is.
And it's a distraction. It's not helping.
Don't come to me and say they're doing shit to help. Get the fuck out of here. Like, cut the shit. Hate me, love me. I don't fucking care anymore. We are failing.
Yeah.
I read that Supreme Court ruling or the 8th Circuit ruling. I'm sitting here. What you don't know is that my desk faces a window, and outside that window is the walkway into my house. Okay? You know what I thought? I said, well, fuck. They could jump through this window and get me whenever they want now.
Yeah.
That's simple. I know it. I know I'm a fucking domestic terrorist by every standard in NSPM 7. Every single one.
Right.
They've got all the legal justification they need to jump through my fucking window and beat the shit out of me on this fucking camera. And now I just have to live with that. Now I just have to fucking go about my day. Do what I do.
Yeah.
Knowing that when Ben Mycelis, you better fucking believe the day, which they never will, because he'll fucking get in bed with the government before it ever gets there.
No doubt.
They'll give him a medal for keeping the movement suppressed.
He's doing them a fucking favor.
Yep.
He's doing him a favor. My God, I've never seen someone placate the masses so well.
Yeah. Well, that's why Cohen can turn around and go right back and be buddies with the Oval Office again, because he kept shit under wraps. He knew shit. He could have taken him down. He never did. But he came forward like, oh, I'm your buddy. I'm against that guy. There's a line they don't cross, and that's why nothing works. And it's like Americans, they got such tunnel vision, and they've been trained to think anybody who's outside that little narrow view is, tinfoil hat territory. But we've got the videos. We've seen ICE murder people, shoot people right in the face. We've seen the videos of the kids getting hurt. And it's just like at some point, that gap, like I mentioned, that gap between, the reality that's presented before your eyes and what the narrative is. And if you're listening to that narrative, that propaganda narrative where they claim every victim is a terrorist somehow, and it's easier to listen to that because you can pretend your day is still normal. And on most days, yes. I mean, you guys got to remember, even in World War II, there were people that just went to work, and it's just like, okay, maybe there's not as much food on the shelves. They went to work, they went to schools. I mean, there was that stress, but the war was all around them. And that's what we're at right now. I mean, they don't show that in the movies. Everybody is brainwashed because of the movies, but that's what we're in. And just because your community seems normal today doesn't mean that a herd of extremely undertrained, but heavily armed and ridiculously funded white supremacists isn't going to come marching into your town thinking they have all the authority in the world to kick down your doors and thinking that they're unaccountable. Like the degree, like this whole mask shit has been just completely insane since the beginning. Having people that claim to be federal officers who refuse to identify themselves, that's ludicrous. And the fact that people aren't just outraged because of that is already a problem. And now we're at the point where they're tear gassing with nerve gas children and they're shooting women in the face, and people are still like passively supporting some asshole because he posts a meme mocking the president. I mean, that's where the gap is. How do we get from here to there? Arturo, you tell me. I don't know.
Well, real quick, I just want to tell Shane that, look, man, whenever you speak your truth, there are always going to be people who clap back. They don't understand where you're from. They don't understand your perspective. They don't understand your viewpoint. Don't let it get to you, man. You can't. I get people who push back on me all the time. I deal with it. Most of the time tell them to fuck off before I block them, but a lot of times I just block, but yeah, I think you handled the thing well. Just don't let it get to you, bro.
No, really I know. Don't. It's the rant. I just want
yeah. Get it out. You gotta get it out.
Like that's true. Like there is it's a lot of pushback, and it's like the thing about everybody, I think it's not just me thing, but like the more ludicrous the argument you're facing is, the more just infuriating it is. And it's for me, I can laugh in the face of someone who's MAGA and is telling me that the GDP is up and the economy is booming. I can laugh in your face. Like you're dumb as hell. And like I was never going to change your mind anyway. But to see someone so close to the truth, someone so close to that clearly inside of them somewhere wants that. They want the truth.
Yeah.
They want it, but they've fallen victim to another malicious schemer who has just gone down the stream. He's just fishing. They're just fishing.
Yeah.
We are resistance. We are the resistance.
Right.
Come on over here. Get on the riverbank. And if you get off here, you don't see the fucking ICE agents. You should get tear gassing kids. It seems more normal. Hey, this is what the mainstream media is telling you, but I'm not the mainstream media, so you can trust me. Yeah. I care about you. I work tirelessly. I'm tired. Look, bro, people were fucking tired before you, and they were doing better work than you the whole goddamn time.
Yeah.
Ben was a fucking millionaire before he was a Midas Touch. The Midas Touch super PAC existed way fucking before Midas Touch YouTube. Let's be fucking honest here. Let's
right. These people, they're business people. They don't do anything unless they know there's money to be made, and that's why they invest in things. But to go back to what Walter was saying about mobilizing white people. Unfortunately, like I say this a lot, but a lot of what the problem that we have with hate and bigotry in this country is by far a white people problem. And, Black people and most Latinos, we don't have access to white people like white people do. And until white folks do what you're doing, Walter, what you're doing, Shane, and confronting the issue head on and, is telling people this isn't okay, like, debunking their bullshit, calling out racism, until we start doing that as a society as a whole, we're never gonna end it. The thing is, growing up, and Walter can probably attest to this, Shane, because we're old, but in our day, we were always told to ignore the racists, ignore the Nazis, don't give them attention. That's what they want. So a lot of our generation and the generation before us, this started after the Civil Rights Act, we're told not to talk about it. Don't give them attention. I was always against that. I was always confront them, let them know it's not okay.
Right.
This whole idea that we should ignore them and not confront racists or run from them because they're all of a sudden all over Twitter or all over Facebook or whatever, it just allowed them to grow. And the more you run from them, for example, running from Twitter, I didn't leave Twitter because I knew that's where the Nazis are. Now, I don't have to go to Telegram. I don't have to follow these encrypted chat channels. I can monitor hate groups and extremists on X. They're out in the open.
Yeah.
But the more you cede space to them, the more they're allowed to grow. And the more that they speak without any pushback, the more. This is why people like Nick Fuentes and Charlie Kirk and stuff become so big, because nobody is confronting them to their face that being a Nazi is not good. You know what I mean? They're letting them. You're letting these guys whitewash history. You're letting these guys talk about the Holocaust wasn't what it was, or and inevitably that leads to 6 million wasn't enough. Now we're talking straight Nazis. So,
and then they teach schools too. They're getting there. But keep going.
Right. So, I mean, you're taking away a lot of important history, Black history, for example, extremely important. Some of the biggest revolutionary minds are in Black history. Latin American history, a lot of revolutionary minds. These are all things that they don't want you to read. They don't want you to understand what revolution looks like.
Yes.
Revolution isn't always bloody. It isn't always a massacre. It isn't. Revolution starts right here within, with you, like with us three. That's where it starts.
In your brain.
And if you really want to address the hate and bigotry in this country, we really need white people as a whole to step up.
Yeah.
Let me add too. The other day, just like the stuff that we're trained to auto censor ourselves.
Yeah.
The other day I ran into a friend of mine. I was just out in public. He's like, "How are you doing?" I'm like, "Well, I don't like having child rapists tell me what to do." I said it really loud, and I know this guy walked behind me, and I just felt his rage. I didn't even look at him. I didn't even see him. I just felt his anger at that comment. Like, this is out of bounds. Like, they have been, I mean, this is the indoctrination we all have to overcome. Like, this idea that somebody would hear me complain about the fact that child rapists are running our society and be mad somehow at me. They're mad somehow at me for pointing that out. And that's the issue. That is the issue. I don't have an answer for this. I don't have an answer other than to get other people to start talking about these things. We have to make people say these things out loud. We have to stop allowing them to say, oh, we're not allowed to talk about a school shooting like hours after a school shooting. We're not allowed to talk about it now. Now's not the right time. And like, all those rules are just arbitrary. They've been pumped into us. That's the grooming. The same thing like Arturo said, because white supremacy, if you pull it out into the light, it dies. It shrivels up and dies. So keeping it hidden, exactly as you said, it's allowed to fester and grow and get bigger and bigger. And you can't ignore it anymore when the president of the United States is part of a white supremacy movement. And that part it's impossible. So but all of us have to take it upon ourselves to overcome that conditioning. And when we meet other people who become enraged, not by what we're saying, but because we claim the right to say it. And that's the level we're at in the United States. That's what we have to overcome. All of you guys, please help me come up with new strategies and tactics for doing this. All your help, anything you can think of that helps move it along. I am desperate for more ways.
You know what? Go ahead, Shane. Feel like I'm going to make this statement. It's going to be open-ended intentionally. But look, I know, and I'm not the only one. I've been ready for months. But there's no fucking reason anyone who's ready, who knows they're ready, is going to go out in the street and die for no reason. There's no point. I'm more valuable to you here doing what I'm doing right now.
Right.
Because what needs to be done requires everyone. Everyone who is ready is not going to go die first. Look, and if you're not ready, then you need to be ready to support the ready people. I'm be honest with you.
Yeah.
You can fill in the fucking gaps for what's ready. I could be making breakfast. You don't know. Okay? But what I'm telling you is that we have failed. And every fucking minute that passes, they reinforce the psychological echo chambers of the people that are seething at Walker behind on the street. Every second that passes, they pass more ICE funding.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? Do you get it? You viewer, if you're a viewer and you get it, then you need to make the next person you see get it.
Yeah.
Do you understand what another $10 billion, what another $100 billion for ICE means. Do you understand what it means when I stop reporting because someone came through my fucking window?
Yeah.
Because they now have the money to deploy a specific type of agency to go and get the people who are in the media. Do you understand what it looks like in the world when these things happen? No, you don't, because they cut you off from the global picture. They've made it so that you don't know what the world is like, that you don't know that these are red alarm warning signs, that when the government is just ignoring constant deaths in incarceration of innocent people, when the government somehow manages to sweep the disappearance of over 8,000 people from a concentration camp under the rug, when we supposedly had the red line at Senator Alex Padilla being dragged down and arrested on camera at a press conference. Guys, don't you get it? I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because that's where I'm valuable. But understand that I'm ready to do what needs to be done. And you need to be ready to do what needs to be done because we live on Earth. And on Earth, there are things that happen in civilizations. There are patterns in societies. And once certain things, like any system, reaches a kinetic tipping point where too much energy has gone in one direction, the reaction will not stop. Politely suing people stops working when the next judge lifts the injunction. Okay? When Congress decides that they're going to fund ICE as the opposition party, you have to wonder. So support the fucking people who are going to be ready to do it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If you want to hear something nice from me, it's that you can at least get the truth from us. But like I you have kids, you have grandkids, I want to have kids. I don't know right now what the hell that looks like. Not unless people get ready. No one's having kids unless people get ready.
I want to emphasize too, it's a process too. And because I'm really frustrated, but over this year I've learned, a lot of the veils I didn't realize were in front of my eyes. And I've talked to Arturo for a long time, and I'm sure that there have been times when he's like, there's some stuff Walter's not quite understanding yet, but I'll be patient with him because he's sincere, or you've talked to me and said there are moments that things happen. And, like that, just seeing people I know in places I know be attacked by, have ICE come in. And it's like, oh shit. And it's like stuff you didn't, it's like there's these awakening moments that we have, and I'll continue to have them, and we'll continue to talk about them. And between the three of us, just providing that encouragement, saying, hey, but sometimes somebody will tell me something and it'll take me, I'll think about it. It takes a week or it takes 2 weeks. So just like, when you get those comments from the people that are clearly just bots and white supremacists, block them. But if you hear something from me or from Arturo or Shane, and it's like, I don't know if I agree with that, let's percolate on it for a while. And because sometimes it's like experiment with it with yourself. You might find truth in it. It might take a month. It might take 3 months. Some of this stuff is really hard because we're looking at a lifetime of conditioning that makes us all servants of millionaires. That's what makes us. There is a mechanism that makes us inclined. It's like, oh, look at this guy. This guy's already got 100 million followers. That should be the guy I support. And the reality is those guys get free money anyway. Like all these guys in government, they just print up their own damn money. Like if you start looking at their individual subscribers, there's some weird shit on there. Like people without real names and no profile pictures who are subscribed to like 1,000 different things, even though they only have like 2 followers. It's a lot of fake shit where they make themselves look like they've got more influence than they do, all for the purpose of silencing of people that are actually telling the truth.
Yeah, I think you can buy several thousand followers for like $100 out of a country like Macedonia or some shit like that. Like
I could get us all 1 million followers tomorrow if you gave me $2,000.
Right.
Easy.
Right.
Easy.
But what to me, what's the point in that if they're not genuine, if they're not real people? Like I'm trying to have genuine conversations, right? Like I see Elizabeth Raven commented, right? That was that started as a genuine conversation on Substack. And I came to know that she's a former college professor. She lives in Caracas, Venezuela. That she has this amazing story to tell. And I start telling everybody, like, you guys need to talk to her. And, Blue Amp, like all kinds of people put her on their show. And she's been insightful. She's teaching people about what life is like inside Venezuela, in the country's capital.
Yeah.
So like that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for genuine, real conversations to reach people. For example, 300 people are watching this. I want those 300 people.
Yes, please.
When this is over, I want those 300 people to carry what we said, to carry our words, to carry our thoughts, and bring those to other people. I met this wonderful Black woman, Dr. Mary Marshall. I don't know if you guys have heard of her, but I learned so much about Black history from her over the years. And I've known her for several years. We've talked about her family's history through slavery and all these things. And that was another genuine conversation. You know what I mean? Like, these are like real people, real stories to tell. And everything she's ever told me about her life, and like it personalizes the whole slavery and Jim Crow conversation. I carry her words with me. She's an elder, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of oral history that comes from her. I carry that with me. I treat it with grace. I respect the heck out of the fact that I even know her. And I've considered it an honor. And like, you don't have these conversations by buying followers. You know what I mean? Aaron Parnas had 1 million, 2 million followers on TikTok almost overnight because he bought them. Carlos Espina bought most of his. Anybody
you think that he bought them?
Yeah, I do. Okay. Nobody racks up 2 million followers over just like a couple dozen posts, man. I think, and that when you buy those followers, those bots are resharing and commenting and creating traction.
Americans are looking for authenticity. They look for this appearance of wealth, and that's what they gravitate to, because we've been indoctrinated to think like that.
Like even like 40% of like Kim Kardashian's followers are bots. You know what I mean? Like, you look at these people with, 2 and 3 and 4 million followers, and the first several million were probably bought and paid for. There's maybe 1 million genuine people on there. And I prefer to do it the long, hard way, man. Genuine conversations, stuff like this, this is what's important.
1 million people that aren't real don't actually go and talk about the news. Like, if you guys have seen any of my reports,
changing anything.
At the end of every report, I say the same thing. I say the most important thing that you can do today is take what we talked about here today and take it out into the world with you.
Right.
To church on Sunday. Take it to the community center, to lunch with your girls, to beers with the boys. However you do it, it's not about it's about taking what you're learning and taking it with you. That's the whole reason I do it. I don't do it for money.
Well, we all have to rise.
It's more effective to have 300 people here that are going to be able to go and talk about something than have 5,000 that are going to walk away and have nothing but the headline.
Yeah.
Like what did they learn?
That reinforces.
The three of us would do well with 1,000 paid 1,000 paid subscribers.
Yeah.
We'd be okay with that.
I would.
We don't need this millions and millions that these other guys want.
We can't have
we're here to do a service.
We can't have this kingmaker ideology anymore. We have to spread it around so we have diverse opinions. Everybody rises. And I want to tell everybody too, like, please go out and talk, but you're going to get pushback too. I mean, I want to tell you right now, you're going to get pushback. If you go up to people and say, I'm sick of having a child rapist tell me what to do, some people are going to be angry about it. But you need to find that one person who is like, finally. And then the two of you can stand there and say it. Now it's 2-on-1 instead of, 1-on-2. And we continue to grow that way. But please come back as you go out there and you experiment with these things and you try to convey the truth to other people and bring it and tell us in the chat. And then we can give you feedback on what it means. And, also, it's always the case. If you find some place where we're really out of line, tell us that. We'll talk that over too. It might be that we're right in theory, but the actual application isn't good. So we can workshop that. But the other thing is, if you're subscribed to Adam Kinzinger, he's not going to be responding to your chats. He's not going to be answering. He dictates.
I hate him.
He dictates. See? And when you've got the established norms of the society that you're just trying to reinforce, you just dictate. And you get that Scott Jennings resting white supremacy face where he's just like, it's like, we all know it's like this.
Yeah.
And what he's referring to is the system of oppression that everybody does know exists, but which they don't know that they have the power to tear down. And what we're trying to build here is to give everybody that self-power. I mean, everybody talks about, what can we do? What's the positive thing we can do? How can we make change? This is how coming to those understandings. It really does make a big difference if you take your subscription money away from the millionaires and the billionaires and you give it to the smaller creators who are actually looking to bring more people in. And if you can bring more people into this chat and come and have these talks regularly, we get more and more powerful. We only need to be like 2.5 to 3% of the population. Then it starts growing exponentially all by itself.
Yeah.
But right now we're in the early stages and we really need your support. So thanks for being here.
Yeah. I just want to mention, Walter, that when you said that, you don't want to be taking orders from a child rapist, that person who got angry with you is not angry about the truth. He's angry about your language. He's angry that you called his boy a child rapist. That's what he's mad about. And you're entitled to that opinion.
Yeah.
But the reason why he probably didn't say anything is because he knows you're right. And that's the bottom line.
Also a child rapist.
Also, I can look kind of scary too.
Like it's personal for him because he should tell you what to do because he either wants to be a child rapist or is a child rapist. Like he wants that on the table for him for whatever reason. If you're supporting that, there's some part of you that wants to put child rape on the table because it should be a no-brainer. Hey, child rapists go to fucking jail. It's real simple. Like, you shoot a guy in the middle of Fifth Avenue in the face, you go to jail. Yeah. Unless you want that to be on the table for you. So you make sure it's legal. Like there's no reason anyone should be mad about putting a child rapist into prison. Unless there's some part of you that's like,
yeah.
Yep.
And maybe I want to rape a child one day. Like I can't.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And white supremacy makes people loyal to these norms of corruption. So they're in their brains. And I think a lot of these people actually can be reclaimed because in their mind, they just don't even see the child rapist part. They're just like, well, the norms of this moment call, and then they get mad. It's sort of like the way people become enraged if you don't stand for the national anthem, even if you don't have legs. Like people flip the fuck out. They work themselves up into this rage before they even see reason. And that's the mechanism we're dealing with. That's been installed in every American. Yeah, they get mad. Now's not the time. And it's like, I realize I do agree with what you're saying, but now's not the time. And we have to overcome that rage conditioning that's misplaced, because it's, again, that whole white supremacy mechanism can't be talked about. Everything is, they talk about venerated traditions, the norms of our culture, all this bullshit. They never mention the reality of what they stand for. States' rights. Which state right? Are you talking about the state right to own slaves? Denounce it now, and they won't.
Does the state not have rights to fight back against the federal government? Because according to every Confederate out there, that's the point of states' rights,
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
It's just ridiculous to me. But one of the things this conversation just reminded me of, I did a live stream with Marlon Weems last night. And he had mentioned a conversation he had overheard at a bar. And he said, and Marlon Weems is a black guy, right? He heard a white dude saying something about immigrants coming over here and voting. He didn't want them coming over here and voting. And Marlon, knowing that that's just a bunch of horseshit, instead of trying to debate the guy, he asked the guy, how does that work? and when the guy started thinking about it, he couldn't explain it. Because you need to have a birth certificate. You need to have all these things to get voter registration.
Yep.
And, he asked the guy, how does that work if you don't have, and he couldn't explain it. And he was like, that's a good point. At
we got to fight all those false narratives wherever we hear them. Everybody in the chat has to do that because everybody is inundated with false information. And that tactic is a great tactic. You make people explain it. It's perfect.
Why?
Yeah.
How
does that work?
How did that happen?
What? When? Where?
Yeah.
Why? And if they can get through all of them, and it makes sense, I'll believe you. It's very simple.
Right.
It's a great test.
Okay. Great test. And
a lot of white supremacy is that. Well, they say things they know are absurd. They just say it. And they say it in a very loud, boisterous way. And then if you're just like, actually, that's not true. It's like, oh, but everybody got a laugh out of it. It's like, well, and then they kind of blame you. But they try to do that, normalizing these absurdities. And that's exactly what we have to push back again. And it takes fortifying yourself. You have to all be intrepid, warriors of the truth. We need that because we got to reprogram this society to have a little integrity.
We got to stop ignoring the racist uncle who, just because he's that way and you get through the holidays and now you don't have to deal with him. The problem with that racist uncle is he talks to other people. He goes online and posts
and posts
shit. Yeah. Yeah. And the internet has given people a megaphone. And every time you let that racist uncle slide, once you leave after holidays are over, he's on there all year long being racist.
Yep.
And until you confront him, that's never going to stop.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's true. And it's like, there's a person in my life who I've been apprehensive.
Yeah.
To deal with.
We all have them.
To deal with, because it's like I know this person is inundated by X slop. Like, I know that's just, he's older. He doesn't know how to check his shit. And he just is, the things he says to me sometimes, I'm just like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? Like, and if the circumstances weren't, what they were, if this person wasn't who they were, I would slap the shit out of them. It's like, if you were fucking anyone else on the street, I'd fucking, and I says something to you and you held your ground, I'd slap the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Because I punch fucking Nazis. That's what you do. You punch Nazis.
Yeah.
So if you're sounding like a fucking Nazi, gotta stop. There's no more. And it's, I don't know. I mean, like, to be honest with you, and by the way, for any of you guys who are watching or anything, I'll make a note. I'll put out a note too, but I'm not going to be able to do anything else today because my dog broke my window while we were having a discussion earlier.
The dog is that I saved you.
Yeah. Betrayed by the dog, my best friend.
We're about to get dumped on here, all this rain, because of what's happening in Texas and San Diego. We've been getting rained on like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I got to go and figure out my window. So
I had one other quick comment. I've been asking white people to show proof of citizenship. They don't like that shit either because they don't have it. I wrote an article about this months ago. Right. It's like, yep, that driver's license, that doesn't prove it. You can get that if you're.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to fucking ask that person in my life. I'm going to say
they have to have a birth certificate or a passport. If they don't have that shit on them, but just random. Hey, you got proof of citizenship? Ask it to people. They freak the fuck. And then you're like, that's kind of uncomfortable when somebody asks you that, isn't it?
And if they tell you what city they were born in, ask them the name of the hospital like ICE agents do. I know the name of the hospital I was born in, but I'm pretty sure most people don't.
Yeah, no, fuck, that's true. No, it's true. Like, that's a good one. I'm just gonna be like, hey,
and then ask them too. It's like
your proof of citizenship.
Yeah, and if they don't have it, say, this is an issue. Why don't you have that?
Right.
And they say it's because I'm what, and then they realize they're a racist.
Yeah,
because if you think you're protected because you're white, that this fucking government is racist. It's right there. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, if someone
I gotta make him spit. Okay, there was my opportunity. I want to get Arturo to spit all over the camera one time. That's my goal. Achievement unlocked.
If the opportunity ever, I made a note yesterday because I was feeling a little spicy in the evening, so I sent out 3 notes.
Spicy.
I shit on the billionaires a little bit. And one of the notes I said is, I would rather have a Somali as a neighbor than a whitewashed fascist. And I think fucking everyone would. I mean, I'd rather have a neighbor who's from Somalia, who's a good neighbor, who, probably has seen some shit. Because if you're from Somalia, you probably have seen some shit. The likelihood that you are from Somalia and you have not seen some shit is very unlikely. In fact, someone who is Somali is likely to have experienced or seen extreme poverty, which makes them a better person to have in your community because they understand what it's like to not have something. So they want in their culture to help their neighbors because that's how you survive. These people are good neighbors. They're good neighbors. They come from places where community matters. And then they come to a place and then they form a community because that's what humans do in the world when you're not inundated by consumerism and you don't need to have a functional community to get the basic necessities. But instead, the white people see Somali people coming and forming a community because that is their fucking culture and it makes sense. And they are scared because they work together. And I'm all by myself in America. We are individuals and communities are bad. And black people that are in groups are scary.
But nobody says anything about
You're Michael Cohen. Sorry, I'm done.
Nobody says anything about Little Italy in New York. Nobody says anything about Miami, Cuban community. Nobody's, you know what I'm saying? When it's white immigrants, it's fine to have these communities. It's fine to have these entire neighborhoods dedicated to your culture from the homeland. But when, if you're a Mexican in California and you wave a Mexican flag, God forbid, the guy who waves a Confederate flag is going to be mad at you. So it's just, I don't know. We live in an inherently racist society with inherently racist freaking agencies, law enforcement, ICE, CBP, Homeland Security. I mean, it's all, and until we start again addressing it as a society as a whole, and we came very close to that in 2020, the supposed racial reckoning. But all that went away, when Biden was elected and everybody thought everything was normal again. And, obviously
then they just blame us again, even though we got him enough votes and enough positions of power to do something.
Years to get really, really ready. That's literally it, man. Like, that's what it seems like. It seems like Biden gave him 4 years.
Yeah.
To get everything lined up, that nothing got done. The things I've talked to Kat about and her research and how she actually, fully crediting her, has suspicions that the oil and gas companies intentionally kept the price.
Of course they do.
Inflated.
Oil and gas goes all the way back to white supremacy. That's
the
their
affordability
origin.
crisis, so that they could use that as a talking point. Like all of these things, like it just makes sense. It's not even like a joke. It's just like we lack. The problem is the American people lack imagination. They lack imagination. That's why I am like, why is Shane always focused on the wider world? Why does he care so much? We live in America. Because you need to have the perspective to understand what's happening to you. The reason I am the way I am is because I was very lucky. And honestly, people can't do what I did anymore. And that's sad to say. But I've traveled all over the world. I've been to Africa. Okay. I have been to Botswana and Zimbabwe and South Africa. Okay. I have been to Chile. I have been to Argentina. I have been to Belize. I have been to Europe. Okay. I've seen the world, and all of these places now, like the majority, like the list I just named to you, probably 50% minimum is experiencing some form of armed insurgency, shooting wars, people dying, not safe, can't travel. That's the world right now. Not safe, can't travel. We're fighting and dying everywhere. Okay. Y'all don't get it. We have all these guns. If we were anywhere else in the world, these people would be fucking gone. Gone. Not a chance. People don't tolerate this shit other places in the world because they know how cruel and horrible and evil dictators can be. They kill what they did in Iran. Okay. What they've been doing, what they're still doing in Iran. Okay. 20,000 people dead in a weekend. Morgues stacked with bodies, multiple piles high. Young people, me. That's us. That's King's Day. That's no kings with machine guns. That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you. That is the world. America is not reality. It's a cooked up pot of propaganda and complacency. And everyone needs to see where we're living, because we live on this planet, and humans on this planet act like humans on this planet. Humans in America don't act any differently than they act in Sudan.
Right. And you can't deny our role in all these places you're talking about.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You can't deny our role in all that. Creating economic conditions that make people suffer, that create volatile situations. You know what I mean? It's destabilization is part of our playbook. It makes it easier for us to exploit. You know, those countries. So, you know, when you see Donald Trump influencing elections in Latin America last year, there's a bunch coming up this year that he's probably going to try to influence. You know, that's what that is. They're destabilizing, you know, an entire region to give them better access. They did it with Iraq. They did it with Afghanistan. They did it with Vietnam. It's all about destabilization. It's not about fighting communism. If it was
any progressive leader, they get rid of.
Right. If it was about fighting communism, we wouldn't be doing business with China or Vietnam because communism won in Vietnam. That's all there is to it. And, you know, we wouldn't be doing business with, if it was about dictators, we sure as hell wouldn't be doing business with the Saudis.
Or Russia.
So, you know what I mean? Like, we do business with dictators everywhere because if it benefits U.S. corporate interests, we're doing business.
Let me give you the best example right now. I love this example. It's so good. The UAE, okay? United Arab Emirates. They're literally globally renowned. The United Nations has accused them with evidence of supporting and funding terrorist organizations all over the world for decades, okay? And so this new Paramount Skydance deal, the billionaire fascist, techno-fascist government was going to lose to Netflix. And Netflix wasn't going to own media for them. So what did they do? They, on the eve of the deal, came up with this $108 billion deal. Well, you know, that deal came from, that money, that cash, came from Abu Dhabi, which happens to be a sovereign fund. It was a sovereign fund owned by the city of Abu Dhabi. So a state-owned private fund. So Abu Dhabi, the UAE, gave them money to attempt to buy American media. That same UAE, okay, that same UAE has been funding the RSF, the Rapid Support Forces in Sudan. This went away in the news really quick, but I can tell you, didn't go away for me really quick. I talk about it all the time. If you follow me, I've not let what happened in Al Fasher go. I reported on it 2 days before the fucking mainstream media picked it up. I saw the pictures of the bodies from space, and I started talking about those things before mainstream media picked it up, because before they confirmed that they could see those bodies from space, I was looking at it. Well, you know what the RSF did in October? They took an entire city, and they are genocidal. They are child rapists, infant rapists, okay? They rape infants. They kill men indiscriminately. These people are funded by the UAE. They killed probably over 100,000 people in a matter of 10 days in the city of Al Fasher. That's more than we have fucking publicly recorded in Gaza. There's probably more in Gaza, and there's probably more in Sudan.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay?
I'm sure.
But this is the same guy. These guys are funding the Paramount takeover of Netflix, and they're funding child rape, infant rape, and genocide. I mean, there's videos of these guys going through hospitals, shooting people. Okay? Like, these are the people that are fucking investing in America. What the fuck is wrong with people? Like, do your homework. It's not Paramount buying this shit. EA just didn't get sold to another American company. They sold the Electronic Arts video game to the Saudi private investment fund, to the Saudi government. They sold the premier video game company, Madden, FIFA, MLB, Battlefront, Battlefield, you name it. You name it. They sold it to the Saudis. This isn't a joke. This isn't funny. This is what like American money still pouring into Israel. Look, you can see. You can use your eyes. Use your eyes. The world actually does a really good job on reporting on what's going on there. It's a matter of who is listening. Who's
out of U.S. media?
They're going to scream. They scream it out into the void. All it takes is for people like me and Arturo and Walter to go and get that and bring it to you. Yeah. But people who have the following to inform people that this Netflix deal is actually funded by the UAE, which is actively funding the RSF that is actively committing a genocide the longest ongoing genocide that's been ignored by the world. It's been happening for he just hit 1,000 days in Sudan.
Yeah.
This war has been going for 1,000 days. Okay, so
I need to start peeling out, guys.
No, sorry.
No, it's good. Everything you did. It's a shame I have to get going, but
no, it's okay. Real quick, we can end it here because I have a broken window.
Look at that.
So guys, go ahead and scan this QR code here. It'll take you over to Walter's Substack.
Oh, that's to me. Awesome.
And you can subscribe to him there.
Yes, please do. Please do.
And Walter's always got something to say. It's always something worth listening to.
Yeah.
And
thank you.
Oh, it's glad you could join us, even if it was a little late today.
I'm glad I got here. It's been a really good one.
Yeah, no, it was a great show. I wish my dog didn't break my window, but I was having such a good time that I literally said I'm gonna just fucking run the show an extra hour because I'm not gonna be able to do shit later. So, we'll do that. So I think that's good. But go support Walter. He's amazing, and this show wouldn't be what it is without Walter or Arturo. So make sure you go and support Arturo.
Arturo for sure. My hero.
He's doing incredible work. His reporting on Latin America and Central America is second to none. So make sure you check out what he's doing and support him there as well, because
all of our content is free, y'all. All of it.
Free.
Yep.
It's all free. And you can obviously come and support me as well.
Yes.
I have you just click on I don't have one for myself because I'm unprepared. You can click on the little thing in the top left-hand corner that's got those cute little profile pictures that are drawn by Walter's daughter. You can click on my happy streaming face, and it'll take you to my Substack. You can subscribe there as well. Paid subscriptions are the bread and butter. We've been talking about money. We're not greedy. We don't want your money because it's going to make us rich. We want it because we can do something with it.
We can eat.
So
we're not greedy. We po.
We're not greedy. We're hungry. Feed us. Feed us some food.
Yeah.
But it always helps. It's a great thing to do. So for my paid subs, obviously I usually do a live stream, but my dog broke my window and it's about to rain. So duty calls, my friends. But usually we do this on Friday. I'll find a way to work it in next week, get you guys some extra.
There we go.
But it happens, and so stay angry, but stay calm, but don't stay angry. And we'll see you in a couple weeks.
I gotta do my profile
for another rant. Oh, hold on. We all got to do our, you don't get to have arms, Arturo.
You just radiate goodness, Arturo. You just sit there and radiate goodness.
All right, guys. You guys are the best. We appreciate you. Thank you for joining us today. And, I'm going to go patch up a window. Arturo's going to go prepare for, Nightmare Before Christmas. And, Walter's got to Superman the hell out.
I'm talking with Ellie Leonard in an hour, so
hell yeah, that's awesome.
That'll be good. And the Mouthy Renegade Writers. So
all right, my friends, as always, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks.
Burn bright, resist, and we'll talk to you all later.